In the summer of 1886, the Arizona Territory was a harsh land where danger could appear without warning. A lonely rancher named Samuel Hayes rode through a narrow canyon when he discovered an Apache woman held captive by 3 armed men. She was exhausted, frightened, and tied to a wooden post beside an abandoned mining camp. Samuel watched from the ridge until darkness covered the valley. He knew attacking the men alone could get him killed, but leaving the woman behind felt even worse. After midnight, he slipped into the camp, cut her ropes, handed her water, and whispered that she was free. Before sunrise, he disappeared without asking her name. The woman stood beside the empty camp and watched Samuel ride away. She could have returned toward the mountains, but something stopped her. During captivity, everyone who approached had wanted something from her. Samuel had been different. He had risked his life and walked away without demanding gratitude, money, or obedience. Her name was Alara. She saddled an abandoned horse and followed Samuel's tracks through the desert. For 2 days she rode behind him, keeping enough distance that he wouldn't notice. Samuel finally saw her near a dry riverbed. He stopped his horse, turned around, and stared in surprise. "Why are you following me?" Alara answered calmly. "Because you gave me freedom when you could have taken something from me." Samuel shook his head and told her she owed him nothing. He offered her directions toward Apache territory, but Alara refused to leave. She explained that the men who captured her had destroyed her village, and she had nowhere safe to return. Samuel reluctantly allowed her to travel with him. They rode toward his small ranch near Prescott, Arizona, where he promised she could stay until she decided what came next. During the journey, Alara proved to be an excellent rider and tracker. She noticed water sources Samuel missed and warned him about dangerous trails. Slowly, respect grew between them. When they reached the ranch, Samuel gave Alara a small cabin beside the creek. She could leave whenever she wished. Instead, she began helping around the property. Weeks passed, and the lonely ranch became a place where 2 people from completely different worlds discovered they understood each other better than anyone expected. Then trouble returned. The 3 men Samuel had defeated had survived and were searching for Alara. They believed she knew where stolen gold from the mining camp had been hidden. One evening, riders appeared on the horizon. Samuel immediately grabbed his rifle, but Alara stopped him. She knew a better way to protect them. That night, Alara led the men toward a narrow canyon where she had discovered an old mining tunnel. Samuel followed secretly from another direction. When the attackers entered the canyon, Alara triggered a rock slide that blocked their horses. Samuel and the local sheriff then captured them without a deadly fight. The stolen gold was recovered, exposing the criminals. Afterward, Alara was finally free from the men who had hunted her. Samuel expected her to leave, believing she deserved a life among her own people. Instead, she told him that freedom wasn't simply returning to a place. Freedom meant choosing where she belonged and deciding her own future without anyone controlling her. Years later, travelers passing through the Arizona Territory heard about the ranch where a lonely rider and an Apache woman lived side by side. Samuel never called himself her savior, and Alara never called herself his debt. They simply became partners. Their story began with a rescue, continued with trust, and ended with 2 people choosing each other freely.